Hello and welcome to Some of My Friends Read Comics. We've got Chris.
Gritting my teeth and looking angry all the time.
Yeah, we got Vince.
We're bringing a lot of big guns for our conversation.
And I'm Kia. Hi, welcome to the show. Today, we're continuing from last time. We're doing the back half of Injustice, Gods Among Us, the first season, the first season, I think they're calling it, year one. I thought this was going to be like issues 7 through 12 because it's the back half, but it was 13. So I have no idea how many like little mini digital chapters it was.
There was 36 and a Lobo annual. Did y'all get that in yours?
I did. Maybe
I
that's
didn't read
what
that.
I thought.
I didn't read that. Okay.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
It was good. You should have read it.
Okay.
Unless it was a different thing than I read.
It's
Did
like
you get any Lobo?
It's like a Harley Lobo annual on the cover, right?
Vince, that was the best part of this book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but don't fret. We'll explain it all to you. It was so good, I wrote down everything.
Okay.
Of course, if you're just jumping into this episode, don't. Maybe go back to the last one because I think it'll make a lot more sense. And of course, we are continuing our read of Earth X. We're on issue 10, getting real close to the end here. But yeah, let's okay, do we need to do a recap? No. Superman's a fascist, Batman's fighting him, they've each got a team.
Lois Lane died.
Yeah.
And so then Superman killed the Joker.
Mm-hmm,
Then he decided that we're not having any bullshit with these bad guys. We're taking care of them. He like just destabilized all these nations who had like dictatorial leaders. He then anybody who got in his way, like Aquaman, anybody who's being violent, he's fucking stopping. Wonder Woman, 100% on board with the violence. She's there. Batman's got a rebellion. Nightwing got killed. And Damian Wayne accidentally killed Nightwing, but it was an accident. And he went over to Superman's side.
Yeah. I think that's a good recap, Vince.
There you
go. All right, so jumping into chapter 7 here. We've got a signal coming out of Metropolis, something that's just saying still alive over and over and over again. It's like people are picking it up on radios everywhere. And we're led to believe that nobody has set foot in Metropolis for over a month since it was exploded and everyone died, which I do find a little bit hard to believe.
No, and there has been no rescue services at all.
Like, yeah, they said it's there's radiation, but like, you know, the hazmat suits, you got superheroes, like go looking for somebody.
I don't know my entire history of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Chernobyl, but I feel like people still went in to try to like help or stop things, right? There's got to be gas leaks or some shit in Metropolis that need to be like taken care of.
I don't know. I just read the graphic novel of Slaughterhouse 5, and they talk about the battle of the bombing of Dresden, and basically they don't see anybody, and their job just becomes finding corpses. So, and that's not done until like weeks later.
Okay.
And
it's also for timeline wise, this has only been a month. So like Ares has already talked to Wonder Woman about replacing Lois Lane and marrying Superman in a month. So
I mean, she was ready to do that on day one.
Yeah, she was ready. She was ready. So Superman wants to go investigate this signal, but the rest of the Justice League is telling him it could be a trap. Green Lantern and Wonder Woman decide to go with him. And they find Lex Luthor in a bunker, and Superman gives him a giant hug because they're friends in this universe. And I really was expecting some kind of little scene, like going back to their like how they got to be friends or something like that. But we didn't get anything. We were just kind of like, okay, they're friends now, and that's just it. And they've always been friends, which is, I guess it's okay. But it did surprise me a little bit. Apparently, he had some speedster on his payroll who, like, if shit hit the fan, it was her job to get him to the bunker. And then she went out trying to save other people, and she died, just like everybody else. So I guess there are no other bunkers in Metropolis. Lex Luthor is the only person who lived. And Batman, while they're gathering Lex Luthor and taking him, Batman has some kind of an informant there. It seems to be maybe somebody invisible who's telling Batman, like, hey, this is what's going on. They found Lex Luthor. but I couldn't get much more because Wonder Woman almost saw me. I had to get out of there. And Batman says to this mystery person, watch out for Wonder Woman. She's not herself right now. Wonder what's going on there. Then they take Lex to the Justice League because he wants to join them up on the Watchtower. And they're like, well, why should we trust you? And he says it's because he lists all of their secret identities. And he says, I've known this for years, and I've been protecting your secret identities without your knowledge, which, I don't know. That's not particularly convincing to me. I don't know. Would y'all want him on your team after that? I feel like I need more.
I feel like, considering all the tragedy that's happened, they're just happy to have someone who's sympathetic to their cause.
That's fair.
Like that's where I'm at. Like, this Lex is like fine. I mean, is the Lex? This book never reveals who that dude in the shadows was, that informant. I don't think, right?
Yes, it
does.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get to it later.
Okay, cool. I'm like, maybe it's Lex. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it doesn't like directly reveal, but I think we can assume who it was because there's like the dude in the shadows when Batman's introducing them to the rest of the team, and I think it's meant to be a surprise reveal for all of that.
Okay,
but I could be wrong. Yeah. Meanwhile, out on the street, little kid Billy Batson, who is Captain Marvel, the Shazam Captain Marvel, not the Marvel Captain Marvel. That'd be weird if he was. Billy Batson is interviewing real people to get their reactions to the heroes and what they're doing. There's two youths who think it's awesome that Superman ripped out the Joker's heart. Fatality, awesome. Some people are kind of scared to talk about it, that kind of thing. But we see that he's doing this because recently there was a fight with Black Adam, who also has Shazam powers, Wonder Woman and Superman. I abbreviated Wonder Woman as WW. So if I say World War at any point, just know that I'm talking about Wonder Woman.
And of course, our listeners all know who Black Adam is because they all saw Black Adam in theaters last year.
Yeah,
it dominated the box office.
It did. And it set a new course for the DC universe. James Gunn is definitely not getting rid of completely, right?
That's right. The balance of power shifted.
But at least I, from that movie, knew that you know the code word that Black Adam's also like a skinny dude that turns into the Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what his special word is? Shazam.
It's not Shazam.
Yeah, it's Shazam again. It's very creative.
What do they do?
Why didn't they give him another one?
What do they do if they're like at the grocery store and someone says, "Hey, can you Shazam this song?" Do they immediately lose their powers, or do they have to say it?
I'm more concerned that if like Black Adam is like yelling at Shazam and he goes, "Hey, Shazam!"
But his name's not Shazam. His name's Captain Marvel.
In Shazam 2, he decides his name is Shazam.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't. How do you? What? How are you going to tell anyone your name? What? All right. But anyways, Wonder Woman makes Black Adam say Shazam, so he transforms back to an old man, and he dies. I think he dies, but maybe they said he didn't die. I don't know. Seems dead to me. And Shazam, Captain Marvel, is a little bit disappointed by this. Not sure how he feels about it. Then we see a little superhero scuffle where Hawkgirl's flying around and she gets zapped by Black Lightning, and Captain Atom and Huntress are there too. They capture her. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is in some Middle Eastern country, like liberating the women by giving them the guns of their captors. And when she returns back to the Watchtower, everyone's talking about Hawkgirl and how she's been captured. And Lex is like, it's got to be Batman. And they're like, but we didn't see him at the location where she was kidnapped from. And they're like, yeah, that's how you know it was Batman. Which I guess that means everything's Batman. And then Lex says, all right, we are spread too thin. We need to get more people to join our ranks. I have an idea for how we're going to do that if we're going to try and police the whole world. Meanwhile, we see Batman does have Hawkgirl locked up in a cell. He's like, I only need to keep her here for a week. They are not going to come looking for her because they're not even going to think she's missing. And Hawkgirl double shows up at the Watchtower, and she's like, hey, guys, I'm here. Straight into chapter 8 here. Hawkgirl tells the Justice League that Batman let her go, but sent her with a message that everything they're going about, they're doing it all wrong. The people are scared, all that kind of stuff, and the Justice League starts having some conversations, arguing about it all. Flash and Shazam both start questioning Superman. Lex is saying hey, everybody calm down, please. When you superheroes start arguing, it can get dangerous, and I don't have powers. And we're up in space. And Robin says, hey, this is what my dad wants. I know my dad's MO. He dropped Hawkgirl in here like a bomb to get us all questioning each other. And Lex says they need to change the perception. So he plans a propaganda rally, which I really actually do like this version of Lex here, where Superman is evil, but Lex is kind of the quiet, almost the little fingery sort of character. Not exactly, but he's just a dude in the kind of whispering into Superman's ear.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even very accurate either, right? It's Superman's making all these decisions from himself, and Lex is just kind of enabling him.
But also looking like a super measured person. But Lex has got a game going on.
Yeah.
It's a good depiction of. I don't know if it's a consistent depiction of Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor also is wildly inconsistent. So from across eras, it's a good characterization of him. I like it.
Yeah, me too. It really again just makes me want to see something that was when did their relationship form? When did this friendship with Lex and Superman form?
There's a TV show about this. It lasted 12 seasons. Check it out.
No, that's different.
No, I think that's what this was based on.
Oh, okay.
It's based on the depiction of when Scooby-Doo meets Crypto the Superdog.
Did they ever make a Smallville video game?
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
I bet there's
so.
If there would, it'd be a bad PS2 one.
I'm sure it would be, yeah.
Sopranos game.
A bad PSP or Game Boy level, not even a full AAA title.
You don't think it's as good as Lost via Domus or anything like that?
No, because that show was not even that popular.
I don't see a Smallville video game. I do see the Smallville role-playing game.
There we go.
I think that would actually work a little bit better. Oh my God, this cover on this core book is garbage. Okay.
It is definitely some key art. Yeah.
All right. So, meanwhile, on the planet Apocalypse, where Darkseid lives. Darkseid? Is that how we've agreed to say it?
I say Darkseid.
Yeah, Darkseid.
I really hate the way the name of his planet is spelled, Apocalypse, where with the LIPS at the end, lips. I don't know. I don't like it. Anyways, Darkseid has a son, Calabac, who has heard about Superman's cry for peace on Earth. And he wants to put it to the test by invading the Earth. So while Superman is having this rally, talking to all the people,
this is. I appreciated the comic misunderstanding. Calabac's Superman's gone soft. He declared an end to all war.
Yeah.
He
doesn't get it.
I think you misread the situation.
Yeah.
He got some bad information. I'm just happy because I was thinking this is kind of like the Civil War. It's just heroes punching each other. And then I'm like, oh wait, fucking Darkseid's here. Awesome. I'm on board again. This book is still throwing in villains. This is good. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Barely.
But also
Caliban and the Parademons show up. That's about it.
I feel though, and they're gonna, spoiler alert, they're gonna be done by the end of this issue. But as far as a comic, this is we're gonna just throw a bunch of shit out there for 12 issues. Have fun. You're I could put this in front of people and be here's all the DC heroes, and fun fact, a lot of villains too. I think it's a good primer on the DC universe. So
we'll get to some of those. It does
Darkseid better than the Justice League movie did. I'll tell you that.
Does it? It barely does Darkseid. Maybe that's why. So, anyways,
the DCAU is still the best source for most of these things.
Yeah. So Calabac and his troops attack the rally, and it turns out they're attacking the most populated cities on Earth. And so everyone kind of, it's all hands on deck. Even Batman's team is kind of out there fighting off these people. During the fight, Calabac is kind of having a little one-on-one with Superman. Says Superman is the same as ever, like a super Boy Scout focused on saving the lives of his enemies. Caring more about that than he cares about his friends or whatever. Which I think we've already seen at this point is very not true.
Yeah.
Superman's already made a big switch, but
and it's just the worst thing to say to a guy who's recently become a fascist. It's like, I bet you would never choose the ends that justify the means.
yeah. So
that would show me.
So Superman is not sure what to do here, so he flies over to the Flash, and they have like a super speed conversation while everything is slow-mo. And he says, "Hey, Flash, should I kill everyone?" And Flash is like, "I don't think so." And Superman's like, "I kind of think we should." And Flash is like, "Did you just come here to ask me for permission to kill everyone?" Superman says, "Well, can you think of any other way to save so many human lives?" And Flash is like, "No." So Superman flies through the air, kills everyone, and they like kind of turn into confetti and fall down on everyone. And I don't know. I feel like this would have had a lot more impact if we hadn't already seen Superman kill anyone. And if the attacking army wasn't all like alien demons from a hell world that I have no sympathy for, But I guess it was something. So the aliens all get blown to smithereens. The crowd, which has not dispersed, all cheers for him. And yeah, that's the end of chapter 8.
He also beats Calibac to death.
Oh, yes, he does. He does beat Calibac to death as well. Which I think Darkseid might have something to say about.
He probably likes it. He's like, good job.
Yes. So directly into chapter 9, there's people all over the world chanting Superman's name. Wonder Woman says, "Oh, you've saved so many lives." And Batman is talking to Catwoman saying, "He took so many lives." Batman, they're demons. Stop caring. And Huntress also realizes this and calls Batman out on it. And she's like, "It was a war, dude. He saved a ton of lives." And Huntress calls Batman Bruce in front of everyone. And Bruce is like kind of pissed. And she's like, "Wait a minute. Are there people in this room who don't know your secret identity? You got them fighting for you and you won't even tell them who you are?" So Huntress says she is quitting the team, doesn't want to fight against Superman because she thinks he is right. And then Catwoman's like, "Batman, you should tell her." So Batman says he's learned that Superman and Lex are working on something, some way of creating new superpowered people, and he doesn't know exactly what yet. Huntress is not satisfied because he is again asking them to blindly follow, so he takes off his mask and reveals that he is Bruce Wayne, which becomes a little bit of a running gag through the rest of the issue where Green Arrow is constantly asking Black Canary, like, how long did you know that he was Bruce Wayne? Why didn't you tell me? And he's just like dying to know how long she's known, because Green Arrow did not know. But their meeting is interrupted. There's trouble on the news. We got cultists. Do you really call them cultists if they're like Superman worshippers? Like, it doesn't feel like a cult.
I mean, they're wearing like robes and stuff.
They are
that
wearing
puts you in a
cultish.
cult.
I think is that the main quality of being in a cult? Just the robes. Yeah, they've got.
Once you're appearing in public with robes with Superman's logo on them.
They've got robes with the S on the back, which feels like a little bit of a clash. They're not very nice robes, but that S is like, it's kind of nice. But they are following in Superman's footsteps to remove all crime, just beating people up. So Batman's team fights off the cultists. Then Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Superman show up to say that the other team's not needed here. And so the other team just kind of backs off. It's a little bit of a weird scene with like Superman and Batman in the same place there, and kind of, it's awkward. I don't know. I'm surprised Batman just kind of yielded and they left.
Yeah.
And then at the Fortress of Solitude, Lex has finished whatever it is that he's creating there. And Ma and Pa Kent are there. They're being kept at the Fortress of Solitude, and they're talking to Lex saying, "Hey, whatever you're doing, this is not what Superman needs here. He needs someone to talk to. He's been hurt worse than ever before. He's lost Lois, lost control. He's trying to just take it all back here." It's nice that Ma and Pa Kent are such a good voice of reason.
I feel like they're my MVPs of this book.
They kind of are, yeah. I've got a few MVPs here, and yeah. So now Flash is talking to Superman, questioning this super soldier drug that Lex seems to have created. And Clark asks, "Hey, Flash, do you know how to play chess?" Not really. How quickly can you learn? And he watches a video and he learns. And so they play chess together because he wants to pick Flash's brains over chess. And he says, "I want to get rid of guns." And they're just kind of like they're talking about lots of things. Flash making good points to Superman about when will it all stop.
I love it, and it's like happening. Like they did this also during the Apocalypse fight, which like where like Flash and Superman were talking like while everything else is going on. Like it's just a really cool like visual effect. Like this book art is. I think like relatively pretty shitty. I think we've said that before. It's got a lot of disparate artists. None of them are doing a good job. Even good artists are like Kevin Maguire from the Justice League International. He did the Shazam issue. Not the best work of his.
I don't know if it's the inking or the coloring, but something like they're really putting a sheen of poop over this.
Yeah, but
so I'm like, Bruno Redoundo's a good artist, and even his art, I'm like, this looks a lot worse than what I know his art usually looks like. So I don't know if it's just they've got like an inker or a colorist who's just like, got to get this out the door. But
this is a weekly comic, yo. We gotta get it out. But that being said, like I think there's certain moments where like the art design, what they're going for is really cool, and I think this is a really cool scene.
The Kents are also making good points to Lex about having the power to stop Superman if needed. Because they know the world might need to be saved from their son.
Intriguing.
None of it resonates because Superman and Lex have a meeting. They tell everyone to get a list of names that they can trust, that they can give these superpower pills to, so they can create a peacekeeping task force. Robin steals a pill and teleports to Gotham. And the Hawk Girl clone that's there, whoever this is, sees it happening and kind of follows him. Damian Wayne, Robin, is saying sorry to Nightwing's costume for killing him. And Alfred shows up behind him asking if he got his letter. And Damian's like, yeah, I haven't had time to write back. And then Batman shows up, and Alfred gives him a little like, "Batman, your guilt-ridden son has just walked back home. Don't be yourself. Don't screw this up."
I have had that moment where it's like, man, this kid really pissed me off, and then my wife will have to be like, he's trying to like work. He's trying to make amends right now. You need to like not be that person right now, where you're still upset too. Yeah. Like I get it.
Yeah. Hold grudges against your 5-year-old and 10-year-old.
Hey, Alfred and my wife, they're like two peas in a pod. They're good at this thing.
But Alfred seems to actually be the one to make it a little bit. Well, not really. Batman's not doing a great job talking, and Alfred tries to console Robin with a hand on his shoulder. But Robin doesn't know his strength, tosses Alfred into the computer screen. Are we led to believe that Robin took one of these pills?
I don't think the pills are ready, right?
I mean,
I don't think they say they're like full. Well,
but it appears he has superpowers.
Are they fully synthesized at this point? It's the other thing that they're trying to copy it. That's what's taking the time later in the book. Okay, yeah.
So Alfred gets kind of knocked out. The giant penny almost gets knocked over, and Hawk Girl shows up to kind of steady it, to keep it from falling over. She diffuses the situation. Robin's like, they're talking, like Hawk Girl's talking to Batman. He's like, Hawk Girl wouldn't really talk like that. She doesn't have the strength to hold up that giant penny. So Robin realizes this is not Hawk Girl. He drops a little flash explosive, and we learn that it's Martian Manhunter, who can't do fire. And so he gets transformed back, and Damian runs away and teleports back. So that Hawk Girl dupe was Martian Manhunter. So I'm of the belief that invisible person from earlier, Vince, was also Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
And he was the dude in the shadows.
I don't think it was, though, because there's a later transmission or whatever from a person in the shadows again, isn't there?
Is there?
I think there is.
Let's
keep an eye out.
We'll keep going. All right.
But Martian Manhunter, he's always the Justice League member I forget. He's all like, if I had to list Justice League members, he's always the one I forget, and he's always the shapeshifter. So he's always gonna come in and be like, fuck, I forgot about you.
That's right. Well, It's also not fair. A lot of stuff is done with green screens these days, so he just doesn't show up.
I also love the stupidity of these pills that like it is a great like hand waving away way for a video game, like especially a Mortal Kombat style video game. Be like, they're all the same power level. That's why they can hurt each other. Shut up.
Yeah, that's how they can tear people's spines out of their bodies now.
I'm most impressed by how fast acting it is. Like honestly, good job, Lex Luthor. That's some science. Put whatever you're doing with that into like every drug.
Yeah, it's an oral pill, so it seems like it would have to be like digested through your stomach and then like whatever your liver or something else. But no, it's just automatic.
Yep, it's very fast. It must dissolve and like be like it's so powerful that it's like you can't stop it.
No, yeah, it should be a super suppository that Superman makes everyone.
Yeah, that'd be good. So Damian is back at the Justice League watchtower there. The whole Justice League is discussing how Martian Manhunter has been spying on them this whole time. And Damian's like, hey, his dad's got files on everybody, their past, their families. He's going to strike first. And so Lex is like, we got to pull everyone back. Nobody should be out there alone. Let's stay defensive. And Superman is like, that's what Batman's counting on. He's always the one in charge of the situation, always like pulling the strings. Not this time. We're going on the attack. Cyborg, he tells Cyborg, patch me into the emergency broadcast system everywhere in the world on every device. And he goes live on video to everyone. And this is, oh my God, this is where the book gets messy as hell, and I love it. He's talking to the entire world saying that Batman is a traitor. Kidnapped Hawkgirl, left a double in her place so they didn't even know she was missing. Green Arrow and Canary are watching this at home, and they're like, wait, what? And Superman says, I'm going to take Batman's anonymity in return. Batman's true identity is... Batman's watching this. He pushes a button to activate Protocol Icarus, and all the screens go to static. And he's taken out the watchtower, too. All life support systems is out. Someone is like, what the hell? His son is up here, man. And Lex is like, we got to figure out how to land the watchtower now. And Superman says, no, this is what Batman wants. He wants our hands full so that he can be working on a contingency plan. We cannot give him that time. Cyborg, let me finish addressing the Earth. And they're like, well, communications are down. We can't do that. And Robin is like, Cyborg, you're a living computer. Lex, you're supposed to be the smartest man in the world. Y'all can figure it out. So they managed to get out a tweet from Superman saying Batman is Bruce Wayne. And man, this like if this book was already a soap opera, this is when it's like, ooh, we got a real soap opera here. This is great.
I love the image. I love that Superman has a Twitter account.
Yeah.
It's really
just Superman flying. He hasn't even gotten a new evil avatar to show that now he's a bad guy. It's still just him flying around.
Oh yeah, he needs a stern face as that.
Yeah, he needs a stern laser eye face.
Yeah.
That shows like, oh, he's not messing around.
And he properly title cased it, but he didn't put a period. He's not that much of a cop. Okay.
Yeah. They didn't have to look. They're trying to get as much out as quickly as possible. No time for periods.
I like how he's also reviewing the response to it on Cyborg's arm, like his arm projector.
How many likes did I get? So Superman and Wonder Woman then land the watchtower kind of by pushing it in the right direction. It's not that difficult, it seems. Alfred then is telling Batman at the Batcave, like, there's newscopters all around the mansion. Batman apologizes for what's going to happen to Alfred's life. So Alfred hands him a list that he had made in advance, saying, hey, just in case something like this happens, this is everything you might want to take from the manor in a hurry. And then Batman says, all right, Alfred, you shouldn't be around me. Things are going to get super dangerous. And Alfred says, that's nonsense. I'm the first item on your list. Very cute. Then we get a little chapter break here. We get a 5 minutes from now, Wonder Woman yelling, Cal, you have to burn me. It's the only way. I'm not quite sure if this storytelling device worked for such a short little chapter here.
She was stung by a jellyfish, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It works better when they're
that's what I predicted was going to happen.
Yeah.
It works better when they're like individual issues, not when they're like bigger in print. Like it works better when it's like, that this is like a weekly comic.
Right.
I guess, yeah, because it's like 3 pages later, we're caught up, and we're like, I get it.
And there was also just like there was never any doubt in my mind. Like, all right, so what's the deal going to be that Superman has to save Wonder Woman with fire? All right.
Again, this is why they should go back and do like Silver Age style covers for all of this. So there's like a cover where where Wonder Woman's like, "No, Superman, don't burn me," and he's like, "I must."
I will say the trade had some variant action figure covers in the back, which I thought were really nice. I think there should be more action figure covers where it's just like action figures posed in a photograph to make the cover. I like it. All right, so what's going on here? Why does Superman have to burn Wonder Woman? Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern are on their way to talk to Batman to negotiate Hawkgirl's release. I think this is where your quote was, Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that quote again? We're taking a lot of guns.
A lot of guns to just a conversation.
Yep. So they meet Batman in front of the Batcave waterfall. He's standing there, and he says he's not holding Hawkgirl. We see Hawkgirl fly back to the Watchtower, and the other people who are still there are like, "Yep, it's her." And they're on the ground now. They're kind of trying to get it back up in the air. Lex holds up a makeshift matchstick to test if it's really her, and she puts it out with her fingers. And so Wonder Woman reports back like, "Okay, they've proved it's not Martian Manhunter." Hold on, did I miss something here? Did we? Oh yeah, because they learned that Hawkgirl. Okay, sorry. But yeah, no, hold on. They didn't prove that it's like. You didn't prove that it's Hawkgirl. You just proved it's not Martian Manhunter.
Not Martian Manhunter.
Yep. It could still be some kind of double, like a robot.
Yep, could be an inflatable.
It could be an inflatable.
But at least Lex is aware of Martian Manhunter. But this is the one time he chose to scan Hawkgirl, because Martian Manhunter's been running around as Hawkgirl for a while.
Yeah, it seems like they should have some kind of test for this, but they don't.
It's like having dogs smell your hands in Terminator, because dogs can know if you're a Terminator.
Yeah, they got to test everyone with fire just in case they're Martians. They got to do that.
If they had like Wolverine, they could have him do that for his job, but they don't have someone like that. Maybe Vixen or someone. I don't know what her powers are exactly.
Why Wolverine? He doesn't have fire powers. Oh, he has cigars.
He has super scent power, so he could be the dog who.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It would be. I would be fine with Wolverine putting cigars out in people to tell if they're Martians.
Yeah. I mean, he could, but I'm just saying he would know if someone was a shapeshifter or whatever, because he'd be like, "Oh, they smell weird."
Yeah, does nobody have
like
super smell?
That's what I'm saying. I guess maybe Vixen does. You'd think Superman should, but anyway, the point is,
he's not paying attention. He's too busy.
Yeah, he's too busy. They confront Batman, who is definitely Batman.
And they're like, "All right, so now that we've proven Martian Manhunter is not here, and Batman turns into Martian Manhunter and flies away, and he flies off, and they pursue him. Martian Manhunter knocks out Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman dives down after him. So Martian Manhunter has a chance to have a little one-on-one with Superman, and he puts Superman's hand on his head, like shows him his thoughts, like shows their Martian planet being taken over by a more powerful species, that feeling of helplessness, and he's trying to help Superman connect it to his feelings when Lois died. And Wonder Woman interrupts, says, "Get your hands off of him." And then this scene was fucking cool. Martian Manhunter is monologuing about how they like underestimated him as he's shape-shifting his whole body into Wonder Woman's, like inside her organs, strangling them while he's also in their thoughts. Very fucked up.
Hell yeah.
He's talking about like, geez, like talking to Superman, like we're both aliens, and yet you chose her because she looks like you. Fucked up. So
always the white aliens.
Yeah, yep. Martian Manhunter is going to kill Wonder Woman, so Superman has no choice but to burn Martian Manhunter alive. He dies in a flame as he's kind of floating out of Wonder Woman's body, and Batman is watching from afar with binoculars. Then we get a little chapter break to a very friendly little story about some kid meeting Superman when he used to live in Metropolis. It's got some like Golden Age vibes. It's very like, very Boy Scouty and cheery and all that. And then now it's current day and this kid's a little bit more grown up living in Gotham. and he doesn't like the Superman he sees on the news. And he says, "I miss the city of tomorrow and the man of yesterday." I like that line a lot.
I like it too. I really like the man of yesterday. I think that's a really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really cool name, really cool term. Every now and then, this book does really cool things.
And my quote was from this issue, which was that Superman is always gritting his teeth and yelling all the time now.
Yes.
Which I assume, I mean, because this came out in what,
13, 14?
12 or 13? Yeah. So, yeah, we're in a post-Man of Steel world where he is snapping General Zod's neck while screaming, and you're like, what the hell is this? But it's the next 10 years of Superman appearances in movies, where it's just like, this is what Superman is now, and this is like the Jesus Christ figure of the Snyderverse, who then they have to fight in the Justice League movie. It's really, really stupid.
Yeah.
So it's a good commentary on like, man, I'm sick of this.
Yes. All right, so on to chapter 11. Well, okay, it's not chapter 11. I have it labeled as chapter 11 because that's what I thought it was. But this is the Lobo annual for Injustice.
That's where they put it. Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't even know that it wasn't part of the main story. I was
confused when a certain character was alive again.
Which character was? Was Wonder Woman in this, or Martian Manhunter's in this?
No, Green Arrow is in this.
Green Arrow is... Oh, so spoiler alert. Green Arrow's going to die in a few issues here.
In this story.
All right. So chapter 11... no, I keep saying chapter 11. That's how I label it. It's not this. All right. Have we ever read a Lobo story, by the way? Has he showed up? Is he a friend of the show?
Is he in a Swamp Thing?
He was in DC versus Marvel. He lost to Wolverine.
He sure as shit was there. That's right.
Yep. All right, so this
is the craziest fan voting outcome ever.
It is pretty weird.
That's apparently coming back in print, by the way. Like, they're going to be providing some new omnibuses of all the DC versus Marvel stuff. So
I saw that, but they were still... There's, I think, JLA Avengers was not in that.
Yeah, so snatch up any DC versus Marvel stuff, because that stuff will go out of print and not be available digitally forever.
Yep. So. Or don't snatch it up. It's not very good. We start with Lobo. He's fighting off a horde of who knows what, but it's all in his head, and we see that he is tied down to a little metal prison thing being interrogated by Harley Quinn. And then we flash back to earlier on the Watchtower, which is back in space. Lobo blasts through the Watchtower on his space motorcycle for apparently no reason at all. I guess he's looking for Superman, maybe. But he goes to Metropolis. He gets Superman's attention to come talk to him. And he tells him that somebody put a price on his head. Someone from Apocalypse heard you punched a god to death. That's badass. But I'm here to see if collecting the bounty is worth the wait. And Superman's like, I don't have time for this. So he flies away, and Lobo says, nobody flies away from the main man. And he throws a building at Superman. I love how often Lobo refers to himself as the main man. It's a great character trait. This guy's metal as hell.
Yeah, I always hear, because Brad Garrett voiced him in the Superman cartoon. I hear Brad Garrett's voice every time he calls himself the main man or does something completely ridiculous. I'm like, there's like a little like guitar solo behind him.
So what do you go like, everybody loves Lobo?
Yeah, he's much more energetic and less of a sad sack as Lobo.
Yeah.
It's more of his Hulk Hogan voice, honestly. That was, I think, one of his first cartoon voices.
Superman grabs Lobo, flies him up to the sun, and holds him up to the sun, and then flies him back. And he says, you can regenerate from a single drop of blood. Do you think there's going to be anything left if I threw you into the sun? So Superman gives him a job instead. He says, you're one of the best manhunters in the galaxy. I want you to find Harley Quinn. And Lobo says, well, I need her scent. So Superman takes Lobo to the Watchtower to like grab her old costume, which is there for some reason. Oh no, this is the Fortress of Solitude. Maybe is that where they're at? I don't know. But there's a fun little scene with Lex Luthor there, who's like, "You got Lobo here? Nice company you're keeping, Superman." So Lobo, I don't know why this line tickled me so much, but he says, "Sounds to me like you swap your hair for sarcasm, you highbrow pastiche." I don't know. I just liked it. And And Lobo spots one of these floating pills in a clear box, which I don't know why Lex is keeping them. I guess they have to float in a floating box or something.
That's how they stay shelf stable.
Yeah, yes, yeah. And Lobo says, that looks important. I want it. And Lex explains what it is, super pills. And then Lobo's like, I really want it. And they're like, well, you're already super powered. We don't know if it's going to do anything to you. But he still wants it. And Lex kind of whispers in Superman's ears, like, it's highly unlikely it's going to do anything. Just like, let him have it. So then Lobo goes looking for Harley. I kind of expected Lobo to try it instantly. I can't imagine Lobo being patient and like, I'll try this later. But Lobo holds on to it. He goes and finds Harley living in the sewers with she's got a little TV and a Joker poster down there.
I will say the art it looks like a real comic, but the faces of Superman, because there's like 4 different artists or something like that. The faces on Superman during that part where they're at the Fortress of Solitude are really bad.
Yeah. Lex looks weird too. These are some Superman in particular, though. These are some bad faces, man.
Because at the end of the comic, I was like, oh, I liked the art at the end, but yeah, at the beginning, I was like, what is happening here? But again, the coloring and inking looks like a real comic instead of the general poopiness of the issue to issue.
Well, and it also has real panel structure.
Yes,
because basically, like the way that if you read it. The way it was originally intended, it's just like 1 to 2 panels that are filling up your phone, and then they smush those together for comic pages. So
yeah.
There's actually
it's like
structure.
Yeah, it's like reading Garfield or something. Yeah, where you just like panel.
So Lobo captures Harley, got her tied up on his bike. They're flying around. His bike. We haven't mentioned his bike. His bike is metal as hell, man. I want that bike. Flying motorcycle, skulls and shit. Great. So they are he's calling himself the main man the whole time. And he hears Harley rustling around back there. He's like, hey, what you doing back there? And she's put on her fake mustache, which we know is her lockpick. But she says, fake mustache. I keep it to, and Lobo interrupts her, says, nobody should have to justify the greatness of a mustache. And I thought they were going to fall in love after that line. That did not happen. I was very disappointed. But she spots the pill. She says, what's that pill for? It's payment for finding you. It's supposed to make you invincible. So Harley grabs it and eats it and jumps off the bike. And she falls down to the ground, smashes into the cement. Again, Harley, I would not have tried that. But
and it's that fast acting. Like even Spider-Man's bite took like a night.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yep. But she is fine. Lobo finds her and punches her. She says she just got out of an abusive relationship. She's coming to terms with a life without pudding. And she's decided nobody's going to lay a hand on her again. And she throws him into the street. He gets hit by a big truck and there's a big explosion. Then we jump over to Arrow and Canary. They are sparring. And Harley flies in on Lobo's bike. She can't find the brakes, so she just jumps off and the thing crashes. She says, sorry, is this a bad time? She's come for help. And then Green Arrow's like, how did you find the Arrow Cave? And like, are you still calling it the Arrow Cave? And Black Canary does agree that the Quiver would be a better name. It's like, I'm not changing the name. Like, how did you find it? And she's like, oh, I snuck out for a few walks when you were keeping me here. It's like, you were supposed to be hiding. And she's like, I was discreet. And then they're like, wait a minute. Who do we know that has a flying motorcycle? And they realize she stole the bike from Lobo, and he shows up. And Green Arrow is very pissed because he's like, this is supposed to be a secret hideout. So the Arrow Cave is supposed to be a secret hideout. And Lobo is like, Arrow Cave? That's a stupid name. But Arrow shoots his eyes out with arrows. Canary screams in his ears. And then Harley rips his head off.
Whoa.
Yes. She jumps and rips his head off. She's standing there with his bloody head dripping. And she says to the other two, I know what you're thinking. Best team up ever.
Holding Lobo's head over.
It's wonderful. We flash forward to...
He regenerates. He's fine.
He regenerates.
Oh, okay.
Yes, his head reconnects.
Like, I think he's a DLC character in the game. How's this going to work?
Yep,
okay, he's fine. Okay, cool.
I do wonder if he's like a starfish. Like if you didn't bring the head, near the body, would they each regenerate into a full Lobo?
I thought about that. I've thought about that with Wolverine too, because I heard that he like regenerated once from like one atom or something. So like I feel like if you cut his hand off, which is good that he has a good metal skeleton, it's really hard to cut like a whole limb off of him.
That would actually be a good story where they all have turned into Wolverines, and there's a bunch of Wolverines out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something. All right,
so hold him down. We're gonna saw a finger off, and we're gonna make a second Wolverine.
Yeah, we're gonna make a bunch of them.
Not enough guys running around with Wolverine's exact powers. We need clones of Wolverine.
Yep.
That's who he can be on every Avengers and X-Men team.
Right.
We fast forward to Lobo. He's regenerated. He's under these bars. Harley is talking to him, saying, Superman emasculated you by sending you to find a girl. Like, what are you doing, man? You got to go take the power back. Prove you're still the main man. And Lobo listens. He says, thank you. He bursts out of the metal and he leaves. And he's going to go back to where it all started and take care of it. Arrow and Canary are kind of impressed. She actually sort of beat Lobo. And she says, no, we sort of beat Lobo. The team of Canary, Quinn, and Queen. And they're like, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Did you just use my real name? How did you know I'm Oliver Queen? So then I was under the assumption that Lobo was going to go to get back at Superman. But he does go back to the beginning. He goes after Darkseid, who was the first guy to put a hit out. And he's like, I'm going after you. That's the end of the issue there. So a very, very fun issue. Definitely not important to the overall story, but I loved it.
Yeah,
Sorry you missed it, Vince.
I agree. Yeah, this and that issue with the kid and the bicycle were my favorite issues because I am tired of this formula.
All right, but back into the main story. We're getting into messy soap opera stuff again here. Batman calls the president while he is sleeping with some mistress, I guess. And the president's like, only 3 people have this number. And Batman says, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care who you're with. I need a distraction. A big distraction.
Start a war with North Korea.
Start a war with North Korea, please. for my benefit. Green Arrow and Black Canary are heading towards Batman's new secret hideout. Canary was given the address, which leads to some public restroom, and Arrow has the stall number. He's a little bit butthurt that Canary has so much more information than he does, and that Batman trusted Canary.
To be fair, though, he fucking he can't hide his Arrow cave, as we just learned, so don't trust him with information.
That's true.
Yeah.
They go in a toilet stall, takes them down to the hideout. Team meeting. They're all mad at Batman for lying about why they captured Hawkgirl. The team that captured her was like, you told us she was going to kidnap a democratically elected official. Should have told them the plan about Martian Manhunter. And Batman gets past all this by saying Martian Manhunter is dead. Superman burned him alive. And they're like, what? But he does think Martian Manhunter. Oh yes, here we go. This is a different message that we received from somebody. I think this is a different person than the earlier person because they're like.
I think it's the same. I think it's the Flash.
Okay.
Okay.
Or someone else. Who knows?
Well, because he does say, I think Martian Manhunter got through to someone because I received an encrypted message saying they're manufacturing the new super pill at the Fortress of Solitude. So, yeah, this is what kind of makes me think that all the earlier mysteries, but there's a new mystery. So at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter. Somebody is still sending messages to Batman's team. Batman's distraction has now also just gone into effect. U.S. airships have just turned towards the Korean peninsula. And my notes here just have a bunch of question marks. Like, what? But nice distraction. Now it's a heist. Batman, Arrow, Canary, Catwoman, and Atom go to the Fortress of Solitude while everyone's busy dealing with it. Superman shows up at the president's front door. And he's like, Mr. President, why the hell would you do this when you knew I would show up to talk to you? And he's like, oh shit. And he realizes he's been had, and he flies back to the Fortress of Solitude. Bruce opens, there's a giant locked door with a giant keyhole that looks like you can just jump through. But Catwoman gets it open. They open the door and they find Ma and Pa Kent there. And Batman goes, oh shit. we have to get out of here. Because if Superman thinks we came for his parents, it doesn't get time to finish the thought because Superman shows up. He's got a hand around Adam's neck. Actually, I really like that panel. There's something about the way Superman is just kind of like holding Adam there. I don't know why. Ma Kent is like, Clark, we're fine. And Pa Kent is like, let him go, son. Let him go. But he will not let go. Adam gives him a chance, but nothing happens. So Adam blasts him. Gave him a chance to do the right thing. The blast forms a little bit of a cave-in, and Green Arrow and the Kents are kind of trapped behind it. So Batman and the others, Canary and Catwoman, they're like, all right, we got to get out of here before Superman comes back. Arrow, you got to go looking for another way out. Don't worry, though. I hid a locator inside your hood, so we'll come back for you when Superman's gone. Green Arrow's like, okay, great, thanks. And up in the sky, or I guess out on the ice, Superman and Adam are fighting. I like these one-off monologues from characters who are about to die. Yeah, the Martian Manhunter was real good. The Adam one is real good as well, where Adam is strong as hell. And he never fought Superman because he doesn't fight for himself. He fights based on his orders. His orders have changed now. He was ordered to take the shot if the opportunity presented itself. And Wonder Woman shows up and slices his throat.
I know nothing about this character, but Tom Taylor is just writing him as Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
He is Dr. Manhattan, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's who he was based on. But like early, 70s Dr. Manhattan, where he's just like, I work for America, and no one has ordered me to do this, so I haven't done it.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman shows up and slices Adam's throat, which is a bad idea because Adam is like a nuclear bomb. No, he says he's like 10 nuclear bombs.
Whoa, that's like 10 times as much.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And now it's like starting to leak out of him, and he's accepted like, hey, at this point I'm dead, and I'm going to take you down with me. And he flies Superman up into space so that when he explodes, he's going to take Superman out with him. And he does explode. He destroys satellites. We see Wonder Woman falling away from the blast. And Superman is lying in space, floating in space, I guess. Eyes closed, costumes all fucked up and ripped. But his eyes open. He's awake, and he flies back to Earth. Goes to make sure Wonder Woman's okay. He calls for Flash to get her some medical attention and tells Flash that Captain Adam was working with the U.S. government. And they were ordered to kill me. They're trying to kill me. Superman goes back to check on his parents now. He finds Green Arrow with them. Shit. Green Arrow knows he is fucked. He tries to distract Superman with some arrows. One of the arrows bounces off of Superman and gets Pa Kent in the shoulder, which is you're turbo fucked now, Green Arrow. I'm sorry. But he does have a little bit of a clever plan. He distracts him long enough, shoots an arrow at him that he knows will miss, and he attached one of the pills to this arrow along with the locator that was in his hat. Batman gets a little beep beep on his device, and he's like, the locator's moving. And they find this pill, and they realize that Green Arrow has sacrificed himself, but he managed to get a pill out to them. And Canary is like, yeah, we shouldn't wait for him. We should go.
There's been like 10 moral event horizons, but everything up till now, it's like Superman is, he killed Calabac. That guy's a monster. He killed
Joker.
Yeah, he killed Joker. He killed Martian Manhunter, who was in the middle of trying to murder Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, yeah, okay. Obviously, it's bad, but those were all, there were at least circumstances where you're like, well, I understand, but this is like, there's no reason to kill Green Arrow. He's just like, hey, I'm mad at you.
That man shot my paw.
You inadvertently shot an arrow at my dad, and it's just like, yeah, dude, like you have eye beams. You could cauterize the wound right now and remove it. So like, what are you talking about?
Superman doesn't even honestly seem to care about the arrow in the next issue.
Yeah, they don't even. He's like, I need medical help, and so does Wonder Woman, and so do you. And he's like, shut up.
Yeah, I gotta go stop Batman from synthesizing that pill.
Stop the bat.
Anyways, so
yes, I do love that his mom is like, what are you like? Listen to yourself. Stop saying synthesize.
Yeah. This scene is like vicious, where we see it from Ollie's eyes, from Green Arrow's eyes, as Superman is punching and beating him to death, and his mom is back there crying for him to stop. Like, it is disturbing.
It's super fucked up.
Yeah.
No pun intended. This is not a joke about super.
Oh yeah. And maybe that's what they should call this book. Super fucked up. It's a pretty sad scene. Oliver is thinking about Dina in his last moments of death. Very sad. He was one of my favorite characters in this book, and he's gone. Anyway, on to the last chapter.
Well, I think that my favorite scene of the entire book is it ends this like small little chapter. All right, maybe you're jumping around. You're gonna go back to the. Never mind. You can keep going.
Which one are you talking about?
Jor-El, when Jor-El shows up. I think.
Oh yeah, I think that's in the next issue here. Yeah.
Okay.
Martha. Okay, Superman will not stop punching Green Arrow, and Martha Kent puts a hand on Superman and like holds his arm up so that he'll stop punching, and Superman's like, "Wait, how did you get me to stop punching here?" Realizes that Martha took one of the super pills, so now Ma Kent has powers. Great. I
wonder if she's playable in the video game.
She should. Is she? She should be. And then Superman realizes that one of the other pills is missing, and he realizes what's happened. He's got to go stop Batman. Batman, Canary, and Catwoman, meanwhile, return to their hideout. Huntress was like, "Hey, where's Adam and Arrow?" And Dina walks off crying. Batman suggests that everyone go and hide because he's going to the Batcave to analyze the pill, and the Justice League is going to be pissed.
The cave is the first place he'll look, though.
Yeah, and he's like, "I know. That's what I'm planning on." So yeah, this is where Superman is not caring about Pa Kent's wound, and his dad's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? I have an arrow in my shoulder." And then there's Jor-El is here. It's like a hologram of Superman's father, who is here in the Fortress of Solitude, and he's telling Superman like, "Hey, I'm like disappointed in you. You've killed people." He's like, "I didn't have a choice." There's always a choice. Catwoman, meanwhile, does not want to let Batman go to the Batcave alone. Says Superman's going to come looking for you and kill him. Batman gives her a big kiss and then sprays her with some spray, knocks her unconscious, tells everyone to hide as he teleports away. Nice little scene with all three of Superman's parents here, Ma and Pa Kent and Jor-El, all telling him it's not too late to change. But he goes off and does his thing. And this line here, Jor-El apologizes to Ma and Pa Kent, saying, "I'm sorry I unleashed this on your world." Ooh,
so good.
Yeah,
I'm getting chills
just
now
line.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, sorry I sent this god to Earth.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like a cool Jesus savior god, like Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Even like Ma Kent is like, "I'm sorry we like raised your son poorly." Like that's also like the scene line right before that. Like, it's just a fucking good page of comics. Like that, like all of his parents are reflecting on like how they raised him poorly. It's quite well done for this stupid comic.
It is like, yeah, I think that's what it is. Like it is such a stupid comic, and it is such a dumb soap opera. But like, there's these moments of like, damn, this is good, you know. Yeah. All right, so we get to the showdown between Batman and Superman. This pill is analyzing at the Batcave. Batman is saying like, "Superman, you could have killed me instantly. You know, you're here. You're still talking to me because I think you want to be stopped." And they're fighting a bit, and he's like,
"We do have the shadow person that says he's coming, so we have not revealed who they are." Okay.
Oh yeah, that too. Somebody gives Batman a heads up. And Batman's like, "Is that Ollie's blood on you? He was the kindest and most compassionate friend we have. Why don't you tell Dina it was for the greater good? Tell Black Canary it was for the greater good, you know?" And then he plays videos of Lois for him, like their wedding, stuff like that. And he's saying, "You stopped doing things for her when she died. You've lost your connection to the world." Superman says he's not here to kill Batman, but he does want to make sure that Batman can't hurt him anymore. And he picks Batman up and breaks his back, straight up Bane style. Oh, damn. Like it's such an iconic image there that it was effective. I thought that like
It's
damn.
it's effective and it's damn, but also it's like if you're Batman, the likelihood of your bat getting broken like that is much higher than
Yeah,
any other
yeah.
character. The same as like if you're Elektra or anywhere in her orbit, you're probably gonna get stabbed through the back. Like these
Yeah,
are just these are
It's
iconic images. Either you're gonna be doing the breaking or you're gonna have it done to you.
yeah. It's the fate of every universe's Batman where
It's a canon
something's gonna
event.
happen. Yep. So Superman says, "I'm sorry, you're just too dangerous, Bruce." But Bruce is still trying to get up, and Superman's like, "I'm surprised you're not unconscious. Stop trying to fight." He's like stepping on him. I wasn't trying to fight you. I was trying to distract you because the analysis is complete and it's uploaded to the remote server. And then Alfred shows up. So uploaded to the remote server. I guess Alfred either received this information and was able, like, they recreated a pill instantly,
And
or
3D printed a pill.
or the same pill that was being synthesized. They're done with it now.
Yeah,
So Alfred
I guess
took it.
Alfred took it.
So Alfred shows up and headbutts Superman, says, "You don't get to hurt my family anymore," and he punches Superman down into the ground like a badass. Vince, question for you. You were playing the Injustice video game. Is Alfred a playable character?
He is not a playable character.
What the fuck are we doing here?
I feel like we need to have like a boss rush against all the parents. Ma Kent's got powers. Alfred's got powers. Pa Kent might have powers. I'm on board with this concept. This is
Yes. That should be a comic, like the Justice League family members getting together and they have powers and they're all doing stuff
not
together.
Justice League, not their children, their parents. Because
Their
we're getting
parents,
old.
yeah.
We need to look up to people.
Maybe there can be some children. That's fine. It can be a little bit of everyone.
Wonder Woman's mom does have powers, so she doesn't need anything special.
Hell, because there are like super kids books and stuff where it's like Batman's son, like Damian. I think there's a World's Finest with like Damian and Superman's kid or something right now. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So Alfred carries Bruce out. There's nothing else they need here, leaving Superman just kind of like in a bloody mess. He's not dead, of course. You know, they don't expect to kill Superman. Then we have Superman at the UN with his Justice League team. It is Flash, Raven, Cyborg, Robin, Lex Luthor, Shazam, Green Lantern. Wonder Woman's not there, is she? Write her name down. But they're saying they will stand in the fight against the terrorist Batman who has stolen a terrible weapon from them. And that's where the first year of Injustice ends. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of want to return to this comic at some point.
I know. I immediately started reading the next issue.
Did you? All right. Well, you know, maybe we'll see if we ever revisit this. But damn, what a ride! This shit is so dumb.
There's so much of it too.
It is like it's turned into just an ongoing series, which is impressive, you know. But I'm also not surprised. It is like you can do anything in this world, and it's gonna be stupid. And I fuck it, why not? You know?
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
There are 5 years of it before they get to Injustice 2, the video game, and a year 0 also.
Did I tell y'all there was an Injustice / Masters of the Universe crossover?
Yeah, we talked about that last episode.
With He-Man? Oh my god, I want to read that so bad. It's gonna be terrible. But one day we're gonna read it. Well, all right. I think that's my final thoughts. What'd y'all think, Chris?
Honestly, I'm probably, Vince said he's going to read ahead. I will read this whenever we get back around to it. I like Tom Taylor's writing. I think almost everything I've read of his, I like, although he can be a little too, neat or cute in his writing sometimes, where everything kind of fits together. But this, I really like his writing. But I also, the tone of this, I'm just like, it is a level above what you would expect a comic like this to be, but it's still like written so much for like 13-year-olds that I just find it kind of exhausting at a certain point, where I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I get it. It's, it's grim dark, and Superman has these like fake philosophical conversations about utilitarianism, and I'm just like, man, this is so annoying.
Yeah.
Like I just stuff like this is it's my kryptonite, and that I immediately am turned evil by it because it's red kryptonite. It's just not what I like from superhero comics, and there's so much. It's like, yeah, this isn't, they're able to do darker stuff than like mainstream DC, but DC had just done 52, where they kind of had already like darkified everything by 20%. So I was just like, okay, so this is like what it's reacting to is so close to just what the normal comics were, that it just doesn't, I almost would rather have some of what it's talking about, is gone, the man of yesterday or whatever, because I like regular superhero comics where people aren't killing each other or embracing fascism.
Yeah. Well, I will say I agree with you, but it's also so ridiculous and so dark that it wraps around to being funny. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's well done, for what it is. I'm just saying, like, the tone, like what is actually the text, I just find exhausting, where I'm just like, ugh, this is just, I've had too much. And again, like DC wasn't doing this in like the 90s and 2000s, but Wildstorm was.
Yeah.
So it's just like now we're getting exactly the same kind of craziness that we had in the Image comics, but now it's, it's all your favorite DC heroes doing it instead of, because like literally they might as well just be Apollo and Midnighter, especially for, like they are so in love with each other through a lot of this, where it just feels like a nasty breakup.
We have never done Authority, by the way.
Maybe one day we'll do another alternate universe Justice League.
I'm sure it's aged great.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's
Warren Ellis and Mark Millar. Have they done anything bad?
No. Well, I know one of them has done sex pest stuff in real life. I don't know about Mark Millar, but
yeah, I think just written bad comics.
Yep. All right, Vince. I think we kind of heard your final thoughts.
I think there's nothing wrong or disagree with what Chris says. I just find this a very just pleasant read. Like all my toys are here. They're all fighting. It's moving quickly. It is exhausting because it is a very dense comic. It might be too dense, in that there's a lot that happens. But I really enjoy it. I'm gonna read year 2 soon, and I started playing the video game, so I'll probably consume it.
Let us know if you find Alfred in there. That's all I want.
I will. The video game is so wild because it started out it started out showing the destruction of Metropolis. I'm like, that's weird. But then Nightwing's still alive, but Lex Luthor's a bad guy, not in a bunker, and then it cuts weird. And the staging of the bomb going off is Joker in a park with a bomb. He's not, and Luthor gave it to him. And then I realized actually that bomb that Joker has is an alternate universe. It's an alternate universe bomb that sends a different Batman to this comics universe 5 years from now.
Right. Because I was reading about this. I was like, they have to have Joker in the game, right? It's it's an alternate universe Joker. I'm like, oh, that's going to be the explanation for basically all of this.
Right. So basically the comic universe that we just read has been going for 5 years, hence that 5 years ago. And new alternate universe heroes roll into that universe. So Batman shows up, a healthy Batman, Joker's there. Even Green
Anyone
Lantern
can show.
Yeah. I think even Green Arrow's there. So everybody.
Hey, all right, great.
So,
excellent. Anything else to say about this before we hop over to Earth X?
All right, Earth X time.
All right, let's do it. You know what? I was excited for this issue because the star of the show is on the cover. We got our astronaut werewolf featured, posing real nice on that cover. X-51's there too. He doesn't matter. Straight into the issue. The intro text this time is John Jameson, the astronaut werewolf, asking the Watcher why X-51 is mad at him. Why'd he leave? Where'd he go? Watcher says he's going to destroy everything mankind was destined for. I've accidentally sent a wolf among the sheep. Oh, sorry, Jameson. And then Jameson's like, will he destroy the Earth? I thought he was a hero. He's like, well, because of his nostalgia for what man used to be, he's going to end up destroying the Earth. And he's like, well, can he be stopped? And Watcher's like, well, I have the ultimate nullifier. We can threaten to use it, but I don't want to use it because it's going to destroy everything. So for now, we're going to wait and watch. And Watcher gives Jameson a history of X-51. I skipped past these 2 pages. I did not have the energy to read them.
Yeah. They're hard to read digitally because they don't build right. They're hard. These 2-page spreads. I'm like,
Yeah.
I did read it. It was interesting, kind of. But
it's like, hey, your dad made you. You were a machine man, and no, whatever. All right. So Reed and X-51 are on Earth. They're at the Thing's home.
I did like. I think this is the part where John Jameson, because they're like, he has these synapses which he thinks are emotions, but they're actually fake. And John Jameson's like, yeah, they had us do that at NASA. They said like this is just fear is just chemicals going through your brain, which is good in a sense, but it's also bad in a sense because you're like, yeah, but that's also true of like happiness and joy and love. Also, just chemicals going through your brain, so it kind of makes you wonder. And Watcher's like, shut up. Let's get back to the story.
Yep, good job, Watcher. So yeah, Reed and X-51 are at the Thing's home. Thing's kids are carrying Cerebro around looking cute. And Thing is like, yeah, so what if the Earth is doomed? We'll just save it like we used to every month or so.
I also like hey, why is the narration's like, hey, why is Reed Richards wearing a Dr. Doom costume? That is unimportant.
Yeah.
Exactly. Shut up. I'm not explaining this twice.
So they're sending Alicia and the boys to safety for the coming war. Thing says he has to do this without them, so he knows that they're going to be safe. Meanwhile, Captain America is in Wakanda talking to T'Challa and Storm, and they also do not want to help. They are like, hey, this is America's problem. Go be Captain America.
I do like, because he's like, help us, T'Challa, and he's like, no. Like, all right, then give me that thing I gave you. It's like, you told me when you gave it to me to never give it to you no matter what. So also no.
Yeah, also no. Captain America wants the cosmic cube back, and Black Panther has it. We'll never give it back. So Reed and X-51 and the Thing's family, they just leave the Thing back home. I don't know why. All right, but Reed and X-51 go with the Thing's family back to Castle Doom with the Inhumans. Reed sees Luna is transforming there, and Medusa's like, "Oh yeah, Black Bolt released the Terrigen Mist into the air." And so Reed goes to have a little silent conversation with him. I like this Karnak here, where he's like, this is an insult to Inhuman protocol. And then Reed walks away from Black Bolt, and he's like, there, our king has put him in his place. And Medusa's like, if Reed's a friend, calm down.
Yeah, I did like that.
So Medusa goes to talk to Black Bolt and says, hey, please listen to whatever Reed asked of you. And then she reads his mind. Can she do that? I don't know if she can do that. And she goes, I had no idea. I guess we'll see what she's talking about later. X-51 tells Reed that they need to find the Hulk. He has no mind, so he can't be controlled by the skull. So they're going to have to find Loki, too. Reed's like, he'd never help us. And X-51 says, well, he will help us once I explain why he'd never help us. Which I guess is like, I don't know. Maybe they're going to be like, hey, it's your fate to be bad, so go against your fate. And Loki will be like, cool. I don't know. I guess. In New York, there's lots of fighting. The Skull cannot control the Wizard, he finds out. This terrible... Is he like a D-list villain? Yeah. But because the Wizard has lost his mind. He's gone insane.
How dare you insult the Wing Wizard?
He's
the
not
leader of the Frightful Four.
Oh, my goodness. Wasn't Medusa in that? She was.
She was.
Yeah. But the Wizard has gone insane, has no mind to control anymore. So the Skull has Jack kill him. What's that guy's name? One-Armed Jack? Jack of... who was that guy?
I don't know
some Western guy, Jack. But Jack apologizes to the Wizard as he's killing him. And Skull says, new rule, nobody goes cuckoo. We get...
I love what a little piece of shit this kid is.
He is a very entertaining little piece of shit, yeah.
He's got a real Edward Furlong in Terminator 2, where you're like, oh, this little rascal, I hate him.
He's also got these two members of his team, Iron Maiden and Spiders Man, who I'm liking more and more as we go. Spiders Man is flirting with Iron Maiden, shows her this vision of beauty instead of the fear he usually shows everyone, and he says, "That's how you look to me." Aw, Spiders Man, so sweet. Skull overhears this and says, "Ugh, close the door. You're worse than my mom and dad." Um, and then Iron Maiden says, "We'd rather be insane than be controlled by you. We all would." And so Skull is a little pissed about this. Tells her to fall down. Says, she wouldn't eat if he didn't remind her to.
He tries to smack her first. Is like, "Ow, fall
Oh
down."
yeah. And he tells her that he is God. And we get Captain America showing up saying, "Then I'm Nietzsche," and he's approaching with his army. Skull just makes his own army stand there as Captain America's team is fighting. He does not tell them to fight back. And Iron Maiden is like, "Why aren't you telling them to fight, though? They're all going to die." And he's like, "Well, apologize, and I'll save them." And so she apologizes, and he's like, "It's not really that easy to forgive when you're a god." But
he's so annoying.
Real annoying.
He's like, "No, that's not good enough," and you're like, "Come on, man."
Mm-hmm.
And then he kisses a unmoving, non-responsive May Parker. And you're like, "Dude, ugh."
Real fucked up.
This is real. He's getting a lot of heat from me. He's a good pro wrestling heel. Where I'm like, I really want to see somebody punch this guy.
Yeah. So we get this little fight scene where there's a lot of little one-on-one bits. Captain America is talking to Red Wing, who says that the Skull could make him kill Cap. Like, he doesn't make us fight the way we regularly fight because he doesn't necessarily know how we fight. It's just it's his movements, not ours. Colossus is beating Namor pretty easily, and he's like, "Namor, you seem weaker than you used to." And Namor is like, "Skull's not giving me enough water, man. I'm weak." It's kind of sad.
So
later,
I was thinking about that though. So with that, I thought when Namor didn't have water in that Purple Man book we read, that the less water he has, the more easy he is to mind control, and the more water he has, the stronger he is, and he can resist mind control. Right?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Right? But that seems to be different here, right?
No, that's consistent. Isn't it? Because once he gets back in the water, he gets out from being controlled.
Oh, so Red Skull is keeping him from water so he can keep Namor controlled. Okay.
Right.
I was like, I thought he was complaining. Like, I'd be much stronger for Red Skull if I not. Okay. I got confused. All right, there we go.
So the Skull is now bored and he wants a back rub from the chick with 6 arms. But he seems to drop that because he sees the Hulk and he's trying to control the Hulk and he's like, "I can't control him. It's not fair. What's going on? Everyone pile on him while I kiss May Parker." Peter Parker, a very quick little scene with Peter Parker climbing down from somewhere, realizing he can't leave May like that. It's his only appearance in this book. Colossus throws Namor in the ocean so he can regenerate his powers there. Iron Maiden tells the Skull, "Hey, if you control the boy, you control the Hulk," which I don't know why Iron Maiden would tell him that. But Skull realizes he can control the Hulk now. Captain America goes to attack the Skull, but he is stopped by one of Spiders Man's visions. It's very satisfying to me to say Spiders Man every time. Nice. I don't know why. There's something about it. It just feels nice. But Captain America just kind of kneels in front of the Skull, and he's like, he kind of accepts that he's beaten and he can't do anything to him. He's like, "Why don't you just kill me?" He says, "I'm waiting for you to kill yourself, old man." Then we go back to the moon. The Watcher is telling Jameson, "This is how the world ends. This moment was foretold to me." And then Reed and X-51 show up on the moon, and they're like, "No, that's not it. I know why you were blinded." And the Watcher's like, "What? Who? Was it Vengeance?" It was obvious it was the Kree. They know of the Watcher's alliance with the Celestials. And Reed is like, "Okay, well, I didn't know about all that, but it was a Kree guy. I don't think it was for that reason, though. I think he did it to conceal his actions. He blinded you so that he could release the Terrigen Mists. He's pledged.
He was your neighbor on the moon.
Yeah, he was your neighbor on the moon for a while, so he kind of knows where you live. He's pledged to stop you and your masters with a voice that was given him by the Kree-derived Terrigen Mists. He has a voice that can shatter a god or more than one. And that's where we end this issue. So things are coming to a head here as we get closer and closer to the end. I don't know. This issue was just kind of there, though. There wasn't anything. The Red Skull, like Chris was saying, very shitty, perfectly shitty. There wasn't a lot else that I was like, oh yeah, here we go. It was just like, okay, cool, we're getting there. I don't know. What'd y'all think?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same place. Like, here it was.
Yeah.
I feel like it was getting really good and interesting a couple issues ago. And even though Red Skull's here for a lot of it, I'm not feeling it this time.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I agree. It did, the scenes, we've had way too many Cap recruiting people scenes. Like the fact that he went back to T'Challa and he's like, still no. I'm like, didn't we already have this scene? Like,
Right.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And the X-51 history was, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't as much as like, and then Namor was the first to have powers and he changed the way people looked at heroes or whatever. But it's still like, I'm so sick of those flashbacks. Like at this point, we're far enough into the story and we have so many characters that like, I don't care what your origin of X-51 is. But it is, I am still enjoying it. I liked, again, the Skull stuff. I like that he seemed to somewhat be overtaxed in what he's doing because we just have no idea what the limit of his powers are. It just seems like he can control everybody, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's kind of a treading water kind of issue, although it does seem like we're finally setting up that Black Bolt and the Celestials and everything is going to be on the board for the ending, which I'm assuming Black Bolt is going to not succeed in killing the Celestials with his voice, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Next time we are going to move on to Earth X number 11. And then our main read next time is going to be some Avengers comics. We're reading the Avengers reboot from 1998 by Kurt Busiek and George Perez. We have read an arc from this a little bit later with the Ultron story. It was one of our earliest episodes, I think. But we are doing this is when the Heroes Reborn stuff was happening, where all the heroes were killed, but they were actually transported to another universe, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they're back here. That's all we got to worry about. So it's Avengers 1 through 6 from 1998. Squadron Supreme's going to be in it. I'm excited. And that is it for this episode. Well, all right, what else we got going on? Chris, what is the Your Stupid Minds podcast, your other podcast, up to?
Well, we've been on somewhat hiatus for the last month because Nick selfishly fled the hemisphere, but he's back in the Western Hemisphere. And so I guess it'll be probably a week after this comes out, but we will be reviewing Madam Web. Maybe you've heard about it. Her web connects them all. We're going to find all about Ezekiel, about who the mysterious Ben that is her EMT friend, and all the other mysteries of Madam Web.
All right. I am curious, how'd you get Chris back? Did you send Lobo after him?
Or Nick back?
How did I get myself back?
Oh, Nick. I'm sorry, Nick back. That's what I meant. Not your Chris. How did you get Nick back from the other hemisphere?
Yeah. I sent the main man himself.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, Chris, what are you up to?
Oh, me?
I'm calling everybody. Everybody is Chris, all right?
Okay.
Chris, what are you up to?
I was recently on an episode of Super Switch Heads talking about the new Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake for Switch. That was Wednesday, the 21st episode that came out. So episode like 245, 246. So you can come check that out. Hear me talk about some video games. That was a lot of fun. And other than that, just kind of playing Injustice before I get back to Yakuza.
Ooh, fun.
Kia, what are you up to?
I've been playing Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance. They've got it on the Switch now, on the Switch Online stuff. And I've never played a Fire Emblem game before. It's pretty good.
Oh, is that the first one that we got in America with like Lynn and everything? Girl with the green hair is like your.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone's name, but yeah, she's in there. Lots of characters. I feel like we get new characters, new powers with every fight. It's kind of getting to be too much.
Yeah, that's where I fall off. Yeah.
You know, so far it's a good play it in bed for a little bit until my eyes get tired and I fall asleep.
Sure.
Cool. Yep, that's where I'm at. And I think that's it. We're gonna end this episode here. Vince, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Chris, I love you.
You're gonna have to burn me, Kia.
No. We'll find out. We'll find out why.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 5 pages from now. Listener.
There's no YouTube component.
No, well, I mean, we do put these on YouTube, but it's just like a still image or something, right? Yeah. Very good. Watch us on YouTube. It's great. Listener and viewer, we thank all of you, and we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.